Google released another core algorithm update on June 2nd. Has this impacted your traffic? Have you noticed anything? I'm going to tell you what you need to check, how you can check, and why you probably don't need to be worried about it yet. This update is not the one we've been talking about, which is the page experience. That's actually expected in mid-June. This is one of their bigger updates that they do pretty much annually, maybe twice a year. And this update in its whole is big enough that they actually split it into two. So they did one update on June 2nd, and they expect another one, the second half of it, to follow in July. And then you add that to the expected page experience update in June. We've got 3 major Google updates within not even 2 months, maybe 6 weeks' time. So that can be and maybe should be concerning to you. So let me tell you how you can check and whether or not you need to be worried. It's unusual for them to release 2 major updates so close together. The good thing is you likely won't see an immediate impact. Most of these take a couple of weeks for you to be able to go into your analytics and actually see any kind of change, unless you have very bad, spammy SEO. And if that's the case, you can actually expect to be dinged at any time. So I never recommend that. All of the training I give you is not bad SEO. And I'm actually proud of the fact that the SEO that we've been doing for clients all along and teaching students who want to learn has been focused around best practices that still resonate and still keeps you in a good spot on Google rankings, even through their updates. So that's great news. If you've gone in and looked at your Google Analytics and it's down, your traffic's down, don't freak out. And if your traffic's up, also don't celebrate. You don't want to actually do anything yet in response to this update because, like I said, we've got 2 more coming after it through mid-July. So you may want to kind of just ride the wave and see how it turns out on the other end. The other thing is that Google usually fine-tunes their major core updates. And so maybe you see a dip a week or 2 after it, but within the course of the month, they fine-tune it and your traffic may come back. So if you jump too quickly and make a big change, it can actually counteract what they go back and correct. So I always recommend that you give it a couple weeks. There'll be some up and down. This is normal. Don't panic. But you do want to start paying attention now so that you can kind of have a plan of action in case you need to be looking into changes you can make. A lot of their updates have been revolving around user experience. So as long as you always stay focused on your audience and don't focus quite so heavily on search engine, keyword stuffing and all those things, you should continue to see good results. And the more you can focus on your audience, Google's updates are all moving more towards that, and they're getting better and better at understanding that. I think you'll just keep staying in a good place. With all of these updates, you may notice that some pages can rank better and some can rank worse. And we're talking about after they do the fine-tuning. So again, in the first week or 2, I wouldn't worry about it as much other than to kind of be aware of changes that are happening. But after that, if you lose some ranking, you don't need to worry that Google is giving you a penalty. There is such thing as a search penalty, and we've had to help some clients clean up after they've experienced that with some bad black hat SEO. But just because your ranking goes down on any particular page on your website, it doesn't mean that you're penalized or that Google doesn't like what you have. It just means that they've found other sites, other pages that they think are more relevant to that particular topic. Losing relevancy happens over time. Part of that is because If you posted something 5 years ago, maybe you haven't gone back and updated it, and maybe there are some updates that would make it more relevant. And that's one of the reasons why in our SEO Accelerator, it's one of the pieces that we teach. You shouldn't focus only on new content, but you should focus on your existing content. And sometimes that means removing content completely. Sometimes that means updating it to be current and accurate and add new information as needed. So these updates that Google's doing are not about low quality content. And it's also when you see your rankings drop, not necessarily about technical issues. A lot of SEO people will always jump on, well, your site's too slow. And it has been proven that even with a slower loading website, if you've got good content, people will stick around to read it. And, we're talking milliseconds in measurement here, but good content people will wait for, although obviously you do want to try to optimize your site speed. A loss of ranking also isn't about something else technical like too many redirects. Google has actually given exact guidance on how to recover from a rank loss due to one of their core algorithm updates, but also how to kind of put your website in a good place. And these are the type of best practices that, again, I'm so proud that we've actually been teaching them for years, and it just keeps helping our clients' SEO actually improve. It's very rare that we see a client with a dip after an update. Again, maybe a quick dip shortly until Google realizes, oh, we kind of hit that one thing too hard and we, caused a lot of people we didn't mean to rank down. That's usually revolved around like spam. Some of the website topics that are kind of spammy, and they maybe tighten it a little bit too tight and accidentally hit some websites they didn't mean to. Most of our clients actually see an increase in their search traffic after these updates because things we've already been putting in place, Google's algorithm is finally getting smarter and smarter and catching up. So guidance from Google right here. There's 4 points you want to keep in mind and then a 5th bonus point. So first point, content and quality. Again, their first thing isn't keywords or meta descriptions or anything else. It's focusing on the content and the quality of your website. They want you to be original. So copying someone else's article and directly pasting it on your website is not helpful. You need to do the canonical links whenever you do that. They want it to be insightful. They want it to be comprehensive, and they do not like clickbait headlines, especially those that are something real clickbaity. I mean, you can spot it a mile away, but when you click on it, it doesn't actually relate to the content on the page. You can get headlines that are generated to make people click. That's not clickbait. So just to clarify that, it's those clickbaity headlines that are real outrageous and just meant to get you to go click on the website, and then when you land on the page, it's really not about that topic. Another thing is expertise. The author of the post, the page, has good credentials. That means you need to fill out your author profile whenever you can on your website. And then that your articles and your information are free from factual errors. And there's actually a couple categories that they really focus closely on for those factual errors. And it would be things around health, especially in the last year. We all understand that. And weight loss and anything doing with wealth and making money. They watch for those very carefully and make sure that they're free from factual errors. Expertise of the author, and that means expertise in the content they're putting out, and the content is original, insightful, and comprehensive. Also, the presentation and production of the website. And I don't want you to think, oh my gosh, that means I need to go pay $10,000 for a website. No, that is not what it means at all. Actually, our do-it-yourself WordPress website course, which we just updated for 2021, covers all of these pieces in it. And it's much, much less than even getting somebody to build a website for you. And it literally walks you through everything I do for a client's website and exactly how I do it. And you can have your own website up and running in no time. But it covers things such as style, and we're not talking make it beautiful and have bells and whistles, but just style that doesn't turn people away. Not any clashing colors or certain color red and a certain color blue that they use in 3D glasses. And if you put those two next to each other, it is painful to look at. So just something that people aren't turned off by, that they're able to navigate and click around and it's not confusing, doesn't have to mean expensive. Also, not real sloppy. Again, sloppy goes back to confusing, and it's, again, based on your viewer, your audience. So you want to just keep it kind of clean and not too many ads. That is one of my pet peeves when I go look at something, and usually it's like cute animals, puppies. And, oh, okay, I want to just take a few minute break and look at some cute puppies. And then 50,000 ads pop up on the page and they're each loading. And so I'm able to scroll a minute and then it reloads to feed you another ad and I'm sitting there waiting. Too many ads will destroy your viewers' experience with your website. And again, that's what it goes back to, is your viewers and your audience. And most importantly, that it views well on mobile. Mobile first is how Google ranks your traffic and your search results now. Most websites now are building mobile first. WordPress that we use has that kind of built-in mobile optimized sites. It also goes back to the style and the sloppiness on mobile. You're using your finger to click on buttons and links, and if it's too sloppy and has bad style, those links may be so close together that you can't click easily with your finger. Also taking that into consideration, that it looks as good on a mobile site as it does on a desktop. And again, it's about your audience. The fourth one, and this is a comparative question. Looking at your page quality and comparing it against other pages in the search results. So what I would suggest there is go in and look at your one page on your website other than your homepage. Your homepage is probably going to be getting most of your traffic, people landing on that. But go look at one of your posts that is getting the most traffic. And then do a search for the terms that are used in that post. And look at another one that's ranking high in the search results. And look at the two pages side by side. Look on desktop, look on mobile. And kind of look at the quality of, again, their content quality. Is it original, insightful, comprehensive? It's not clickbaity headlines. The expertise of the author is free from factual errors. What is the style of it? There are some specific things that help with readability that we've actually gone over in some of our past videos on the one on 16 design mistakes that entrepreneurs most often make when they do their own website. Compare the quality, and if you can see a distinct difference in their quality and yours, that means if you go in and up the quality of your page, you may get better search results. Not always, because you don't know what other pieces are feeding in, cross-linking, interlinking, outside links that are coming in. All of those pieces can play into it as well. Compare it and get some insight on your own pages and how you may be able to improve them. And then also, comparative is serving information that's of genuine interest to the visitors of your website. And again, this goes back to the content and quality, the expertise, the production and presentation. Information of genuine interest and not simply trying to rank a page. Google is focusing more and more, and they're not going to stop doing that on the audience and the viewer. So yeah, you want to make sure keywords are in your information, but it has more to do with understanding how someone's going to search for it to make sure that you're answering their search, not answering Google's algorithm. And one of Google's biggest recommendations, these all come directly from Google. This is your bonus tip number 5. Google recommends, after we get through these updates and maybe a month out or more from them, So watch it all along, but maybe in August, you want to do an in-depth audit for any pages with traffic drops. Google actually recommends that you hire a third-party expert to do that audit for you and help you understand why traffic for that particular page is dropping. And we do offer a free SEO audit for your website. I'll add the link to the description so you can claim that if you want. That doesn't have much to do with that type of in-depth audit of any single page or few pages on your website, but it can help you make sure that the technical pieces are covered. Most of our clients can't do the technical pieces. That's the part that confuses them. And we can do that audit and make sure everything there is set. They're more comfortable now that Google's moving more and more towards focusing on the audience. They're more comfortable with that piece of it. But we also help our clients, focus and streamline that. But we can do a free SEO audit to give you an overview of the technical pieces and make sure they're all running smoothly so that you can be layering these other best practices from Google on top of that. I do have a free 5-day SEO Masterclass. The link is in the description. You can go click on that, and it's about 2.5 to 3 hours total of some of my best advice for your search engine improvement for not just your website, but your business. And that's one of my points I'm going to give you. Don't think of search engine optimization as only your website. You really need to focus on your entire online presence. And that's one of the pieces we do a holistic SEO for our clients. And you need to really stop thinking beyond just your website and kind of make sure that your entire online presence is cohesive and holistic, and that you're looking at all of it, and your website is not in a silo over here all by itself, and you're doing one type of optimization for it, and then you're doing completely different stuff with all your other online presence, whether that's social media platforms or guest posting that you're doing on blogs, which I hope you're doing, interviews you're doing in the press. All that needs to be holistic and cohesive. I walk you through a bit of the best practices for that in that 5-day free SEO Masterclass. So go claim that course now by clicking on the link. It's there. It's ready for you to go. Free access. You can start today and walk through that and start implementing some of these best practices for your own website. If you have questions about this update or some of Google's most recent updates in general, drop your comments down in the discussion area comment section, and I will answer them as best as I can. But really, a lot of them are going to be answered in that 5-day SEO Masterclass. Or you can, as I said, claim a free SEO audit. I'll add that link to the description as well, and you can go get that. Look forward to seeing you next time. While you're here, check out our other videos and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss the latest marketing tips.